What a crazy week.
Yo, 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 you're listening to Yes Is It True? I'm your host, Pri.
And this is Tarun.
And this week we're talking about centuries in the IPL.
Woo!
Oh, yes, is it true?
कहाँ से शुरू करें?
I guess the number of runs that were chased. तूने कहीं भी उस मैच में सोचा था कि वो चेज हो जाएंगे?
मुझे बात ही नहीं करनी. No, I didn't. Okay, मेरे को लगा 152 today तो thank God. Okay, you know what? My guy, he's out here. He's gonna get it done. No,
Crazy.
not possible. Not possible. Only Punjab King cannot lose in 2026. It's not possible.
क्रेजी मैन, क्रेजी 150 उस हीट में उसने बनाए। पहले तो वही क्रेजी है। और उससे ज्यादा क्रेजी है कि वो चेज हो गए। सबने टीवी बंद कर दिया था कि खत्म हो गया, 260 थोड़ी ना बनने वाले हैं। कैसे वो चेज हो गए मेरे को कोई आइडिया नहीं है। मैंने टीवी बंद कर दिया था, मैंने कहा 260 थोड़ी ना बनने वाले हैं। और फिर मैंने बीच में देखा 6 ओवर के बाद 100 या कुछ हो गए थे पावर प्ले में। देन आई थॉट मे बी ये कुछ होने वाला है आज।
I was driving, okay, so I was supposed to leave the house. KL was still playing, so I was like, no, no, it's fine. I'll be late. Okay, so I left. Tab Punjab had just started, so I'm driving. I'm seeing the score go up and up
हाँ।
and up, and I'm like, what fresh hell? Like, where am I? What twilight zone have I driven into? What is happening here?
टोटली अनएक्सपेक्टेड। ये तो किसी ने भी नहीं प्रिडिक्ट किया था। जो मैं इस पे बैटिंग करता हूँ, उस पे
Yeah.
मैंने सारा पैसा अगेंस्ट लगा दिया था।
पंजाब के अगेंस्ट कैन नॉट बैट ब्रो. श्रेयस अय्यर खड़ा है वहां पे, हर जगह श्रेयस अय्यर ही खड़ा है करने
हाँ
के
भाई।
लिए.
उनको आई थिंक स्टार्ट बहुत अच्छा मिल रहा है। हर टीम का यही हो गया है, टॉप 3 4 विकेट्स अगर ले लो देन दे
या
आर इन ट्रबल, बट ओनली केकेआर इज द वन जो नीचे से ट्रबल है।
the total number of runs this week, the number of hundreds this week, every match, almost every match had a century.
करेक्ट, 6 700।
Six, seven.
6। बट क्रेजी वीक था भाई ये बैटिंग के हिसाब से तो। जो अपनी वो थी ऑरेंज कैप,
Yeah.
कितना शफल करी है एक दिन में 5 लोगों के पास।
Yeah, yesterday तो morning में it's with Virat, then KL के पास आई, then after that वैभव के पास गई, then it went to Abhishek after that.
इतनी स्विचिंग। टोटल रन स्कोर्ड ऑन दैट डे सैटरडे
Yeah.
were, and then both were chased. The
Yeah.
crazy part is both times it was chased.
Like, what's the score that you're supposed to look at and be like, that's a par score, that's a
No,
winning score?
no idea. मुझे को तो
Limit
लग रहा था
does
टू
not
सिक्सटी इज
exist.
टी 260 इज वे अबव पार। बट आई डोंट नो कैसे चेज हो गया। मतलब मेरे को
Absolutely
बिल्कुल
insane.
आइडिया नहीं था कि फर्स्ट इनिंग के बाद 150 बनाने के बाद 20 ओवर खेलने के बाद वो पूरा 20 ओवर खेला है भी वो रन बन जाएंगे।
I just
पंजाब को क्रेडिट देना चाहिए भाई, जो भी इनके
पंजाब को
ओपनर
क्रेडिट
हैं।
देना चाहिए. एंड पंजाब का जो सीक्रेट स्पाई इज अमंगस्ट माय टीम. ओके. करुण नायर को कहीं खड़ा करो.
करुण नायर ने अगर वो कैच कर लिए होते 2 बार, कोई भी
या
एक कर लिया होता तो इट वुड हैव बीन डिफरेंट।
and it was both of them were Shreyas catches, so should have taken that. And it may, but even then it's like, what was that going to do for you? Who was going to come in? Cooper Conley? They would do
हम्म।
it anyway. Like, they would just do it anyway.
करेक्ट। पर तब भी आई थिंक प्रेशर आ जाता अगर श्रेयस चला जाता ना, तो मे
Yeah,
भी कुछ हो जाता, लेकिन दोनों बार उसने कैच छोड़ दिया भाई, कैसे कैच छोड़ सकता है।
I just don't know. I feel like every other day, the mood in the DC dressing room is one person thoroughly disappointed in life. Okay, before it's David Miller being like, "Shit, this is my fault. Shit, I almost had it." I don't
Crazy।
know how anybody else in that camp is looking KL Rahul in the eyes and being like, "Hey, man, sorry."
इतने रन खा लिए भाई। और कैचेस ड्रॉप, वो भी एक अलग ही स्टैट है। 25 to 30 कैचेस वर ड्रॉप्ड ओवर द वीकेंड।
Yeah, well, I think Punjab also dropped some catches, no, in the at the start of the thing. So I guess it's like some part of it, okay, fine, heat, whatever. Then people are like, KL Rahul can make runs, then anyone can make runs on this pitch. Hate that. Hate that shit. No. It's the highest total by an Indian in the IPL
यस।
in terms of runs. Like we said, I was saying last week, right? Like KL Rahul is a T20 player. He just doesn't get the acknowledgement of being a T20 player. And he's proving
स्टेटमेंट
it
मेड।
again and again. I think similarly for Shreyas Iyer, I don't know what he's doing outside of the setup. I just don't get it. Injury, whatever, not aside, like that's a person you make room for. The way he
या
plays, okay, and the kind of thinking he continues to demonstrate, that's absolutely a player you make room for. provided you want a setup in where your captain and vice captain are actually thinking for themselves and not doing what you are telling them to do.
डू करेक्ट। श्रेयस अय्यर की जगह इतनी ज्यादा बन रही है कि कोई भी बाहर हो जाए,
Yeah,
श्रेयस अय्यर को लाना चाहिए, कोई भी बाहर हो जाए।
correct.
डज नॉट मैटर, बिकॉज श्रेयस अय्यर एज अ कैप्टन मैं बोल रहा हूँ, चाहे आपको सूर्य को बाहर करना पड़े, सूर्य को बाहर कर दो, लेकिन श्रेयस अय्यर को अंदर लाना चाहिए एज सून एज पॉसिबल।
Agreed. And look, like I think Akshar, as I have said before, in the national setup, I feel that he adds a bit of dependability, partly because it's easy to underestimate him in terms of like, oh, bowling थोड़ी बहुत कर लेता है, batting थोड़ी बहुत कर लेता है.
हम्म।
But that 50 odd cushion in terms of runs, if really needed, and also that he is able to scalp a couple of wickets here and there,
या
it is indispensable in the team setup. We talk about players that I think have a captaining brain. I
या
don't see it right now, okay? And
करेक्ट।
I don't think he's adding much by way of right now in the IPL captaining, and also like what is he doing captaining, vice captaining in that setup? I don't really get that either. That kind of feels like it was to keep it away from Hardik. So okay, fine. I would
डज
keep him
नॉट
in the
मैटर।
team. I certainly feel like if Delhi's gonna do anything, they need a massive overhaul. But again, like you talk about, Punjab has 13 points in the table.
या ऑलमोस्ट थ्रू। पंजाब को कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है अब।
Like, and the rest of the teams mostly are like still trying to figure out what's the best combination.
या
And
पंजाब
Punjab
इज
is like
सॉर्टेड।
done.
Punjab is done. I think they do not need to do anything now. Or also they are unbeaten. The only point they have lost is because of the
The rain.
weather. Yeah, वो उन्हीं का पॉइंट था, केकेआर के अगेंस्ट था, मुझे याद है अभी भी, मैं बोल रहा
Yes.
था कि पंजाब का लॉस है, बट पंजाब, आई थिंक नंबर वन पंजाब फिक्स हो चुका है एंड ऑफ द लीग। नाउ ओनली 2 3 4 रिमेन। टू मैंने फिक्स कर दिया है, चाहे हुआ नहीं होगा, लेकिन आरसीबी ही है टू। 3 4 बचे हैं, अब तुम देख लो किसको लाना है किसको निकालना है, बचे दो ही हैं।
अभी जैसे लग रहा है ना the what the top four is, I actually think probably most likely it's going to be that unless I don't know, unless GT really pulls a hat out of the bag somewhere or DC does something, figure something out.
या नहीं तो डीसी का भी मोमेंटम नीचे जा रहा है अब।
That's what tends to happen, right? We're like still sitting in that 50-50 bucket. I think last week the net run rate also was pretty bad for DC, but a lot of that came back together
बिकॉज ऑफ द,
because of KL.
या
So
करेक्ट।
I don't know.
डीसी में तू मुझे बता, अगर केएल राहुल कैप्टेंसी नहीं लेना चाहता है,
Yeah.
तो अक्षर पटेल को हम नहीं बनाना चाहते हैं, तो हु इज द नेक्स्ट?
You could try Tristan Stubbs as a new whatever. Like I think if we're talking about like what is the core of captaincy skill wise, vision wise, and also like commitment to the team wise, other than KL Rahul, who is committed to this team, I think Tristan Stubbs is committed to this team. Like he is vastly there. He's a reliable player. You slot him in like in that crunch situation, and he's going to stand with whoever's standing there. I think in terms of on the field, that's what you look for in a captain. I think in terms of experience, obviously he doesn't have that. But
या
in a new combination, if you wanted to try it, that's what I would say or do. I think obviously we talk about like wicket keepers tend to make good captains because of the way that they are positioned to see the field overall and how that informs how they see the game or play the
या
game. So he fits in that way for me. But I don't know. Like, I think DC is one of those teams that I think to me is quite comparable to SRH in terms of the setup, where a lot of the clutchest players for the team
हम्म।
are these relatively unknown young players who,
करेक्ट।
in terms of SRH, we've seen it in the bowling more. But these are players who tend to, in this team of 20, play in the trainings and play opposite the starting team and all of that. There's a lot of these guys that sit mostly on the bench in DC that I honestly wonder if you just throw out the fact that a lot of these other people in there are like names that we recognize. You gotta try something because Karan and I are not doing anything for you. Akshar, on a good day, is doing something, but in terms of
करेक्ट।
captaincy, I don't see him doing anything for you. And the rest of them, they're just not able to stitch together. Like, there's no gelling arc in terms of what happens when a wicket falls, what happens next. We're always scrambling for someone to figure something out. Whereas in other places, whether it works or it doesn't work, you know what's going to happen. Like with GT, we talk about GT has a top order, and maybe Washington Sundar can sometimes get something going. Now we've seen Jason Holder has been able to get something done as well, but reliably, your runs are going to come in the bucket from your one, two, and three. If not two of them together, at least one of them will take you through most of the match.
Yeah,
There are other teams where no one's LSG, for example, no one's really getting anything done. Like,
क्रेजी था। एलएसजी तो आज पता नहीं क्या ही किया है। निकोलस पूरन क्यों आ रहा है बस।
why did we send Nicholas Puran out to bat in a super over, considering the way that he has played for the rest of these 4 weeks?
रेस्ट ऑफ द 4 वीक्स। हाँ यार, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, रस्टी है, रन नहीं बन रहे हैं, बैट से बॉल नहीं लग रही, उसको आप भेज दे रहे हो और फिर फेस भी करा दे रहे हो। या तो आप उसको उधर रखते दूसरी तरफ। पता नहीं मिच मार्श कहाँ था, सो गया होगा वो
Sleeping.
जाके। मुझे भी यही लग रहा था कि वो सो गया होगा, उसको उठा नहीं रहे हैं, तू ही चला जा।
But I also think credit to Sunil Narayan, right? Like he has done this once before, I think in some 10 years ago. He
हम्म।
gave a super over where it was a maiden over.
करेक्ट।
Yes, it's partially LSG has bad like batting. Obviously, overall throughout the tournament, we've just seen like they've had a really bad batting performance. But I would say that it's also a credit to
केकेआर की bowling is somehow coming into, like, coming all together.
yeah, but I think like if we rank the matches, right? Like this is I guess it was fun because it just kept going, but also it wasn't really anything.
हाँ मतलब it was a 9 and 10, right? One was 10, one was
Yeah,
9।
so
ये जो अपना वो है नीतीश राणा,
yeah,
वो डीसी में,
yeah.
he could be a captain if
That's
not
true.
captain.
That's very true.
That is what I was thinking, that if KL is not agreeing to it, and then we want to change the captain, so then
Yeah.
it should be Nitish Rana, because he has done for KKR, right?
Yeah.
Some in some of the matches.
Yeah.
तो उसका है वो थोड़ा सा। आईपीएल में इतने सारे कैप्टन्स दिखने लग जाते हैं, या थिंकिंग दिखने लग जाती है, कि फिर हमको लगता है कि सूर्य कुमार यादव क्यों कैप्टन है।
You definitely. That's true. I also think Prab Simran and Priyansh need to get chances in the larger setup.
इन द इंटरनेशनल
Yes.
देयर इज नो स्पेस।
Okay, so why not take a new team to Ireland?
Yeah, that they can do. They can create two different teams, and then this IPL can create just one team which can go.
Yeah.
बट दूसरी टीम को भी कहीं कुछ तो करोगे ना, आप सबको तो नहीं बिठाओगे
Yeah,
क्योंकि
but then play more associates, no? And you can play these younger people or these newer people against the associates. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, that would be like a good thing to do, actually, to give them exposure as well.
Because they've demonstrated that they can play, right? And the point is
Hmm.
there's so much talent, but it would be, to me, it would feel such a shame to see all of that talent limited to the IPL at max. That's not to say that like playing the IPL doesn't give you the money, the exposure, the recognition, sure, but like I'm sure they also want to play on the
बट
international
वो
level.
देखा ना, अगर उनको भेज भी दोगे तो व्यूअरशिप कहाँ से आएगी? लाइक व्हाट इज द एडवांटेज बीसीसीआई वाइज?
Yeah,
इनको भेज दो, कोई देखेगा नहीं। आप खेल लो किसी के साथ, बरमूडा के साथ खेल लो, या इधर खेल लो, उधर खेल लो। व्यूअरशिप इज, वही तो करना है ना, भेजोगे क्यों नहीं? तो
yeah,
उनकी भलाई के लिए नहीं भेजोगे ना,
yeah.
कि या एक्सपोजर ले लो जाके। उसके लिए तो आईपीएल है।
I guess like it's like the viewership is one thing, fine, but like to me, it's even like if you don't televise those matches, like will I personally, as a person that cares about cricket, be pissed about it? Sure. But I think overall, in terms of like cricket health or whatever, yes, as a top nation, you have a responsibility to play cricket in a way where you are uplifting the
अदर्स,
sport
या
generally, right? So for
करेक्ट।
even forget like who are you sending and stuff, like these top countries, yeah, we play each other, but like the trilateral was a model that was suggested, something like that, or perhaps like if they were to play each other, whoever wins plays one of the like top three, top four, something like that, right?
या
And in that way, our players also have a chance, like younger players or newer players have a chance to go play these things because you don't have to send Hardik everywhere, Abhishek everywhere, Ishan everywhere,
हम्म।
whatever. Like we can make multiple teams. Certainly, we should entertain the idea that a lot of these other nations that are now playing cricket should have the opportunity to play because it makes overall for a more interesting sport. And when it comes around time for the World Cup, it makes for a more interesting World Cup.
या
Otherwise, it's like those other, India, Australia, England versus the associates, that's kind of more like a snooze fest. You're trying to secure that ticket because you want to see, like, you can't get a ticket to see them play each other, right? So you're just looking for a ticket to see your one team against whoever.
या आई एग्री। एसोसिएट नेशंस को आईपीएल में भी इतना एक्सपोजर नहीं मिलता है काइंड ऑफ,
Hmm.
क्योंकि वहां से लोग नहीं आते हैं, बट मुझको लगता है कि ये करने से पहले जो जो बीसीसीआई के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में नहीं है,
Hmm.
टेस्ट, टी20, वनडे, रणजी, जो भी जितने भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हैं जो किसी में भी नहीं है, उनको बाहर की लीग्स में खेलने देना चाहिए।
Sure.
बिकॉज व्यूअरशिप वहां पे चली जाएगी। मतलब आप लोग देखने लग जाओ, हम लोग अगर किसी को देखना चाहते हैं और वो अगर बीबीएल में खेल रहा है, तो वी विल
Yeah.
सी बीबीएल फॉर दैट पर्सन।
Yeah.
तो व्यूअरशिप की प्रॉब्लम वहां सॉल्व हो जाती है, पर वो अलाउ करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो इंडिया में जितना जितना टैलेंट आ चुका है, उसको देखने के लिए सिर्फ आईपीएल का ही वेट करते रह जाओगे, क्योंकि आप इंटरनेशनली खिला नहीं पाओगे।
Yeah, but they like
तो
that, no?
या वो उनका
That's
वो है,
their
यूएसपी है।
advantage.
पर इसलिए तो मैं कह रहा हूँ जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में नहीं है उनको रहने, उनको खेलने दो जहाँ खेलना है। वो आई थिंक उनको पहले करना चाहिए, एंड देन सारी इन लीग्स को एसोसिएट नेशंस का भी एक कोटा सेट कर देना चाहिए, जैसे इन्होंने पहले शुरू में किया था।
Hmm.
You have to play one uncapped in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, they can say that okay, one from the associate nations you have to play. So that way उनको exposure मिल जाएगा, and then they will have multiple leagues to go to, even if the international is not there. क्योंकि अगर international हो भी गया तो कौन देखेगा, and then कोई नहीं देखेगा। अगर काफी वन साइडेड मैच होंगे तो फिर you will say ना ओके जीतते ही हैं छोड़ दो। So then what is the advantage of then sending? क्योंकि उनके लिए
Mm-hmm.
भी खेलना आईपीएल में exposure in terms
Mm-hmm.
of their growth is better than playing with an associate, and then which
Mm-hmm.
nobody is seeing. So it is a loss for both of them in terms of the skill and the viewership.
I suppose.
या तो काइंड ऑफ उनको अलाउ करना चाहिए कि या तो आपको अगर सपोर्ट करना है देन यू गिव अ कोटा सिस्टम कि एक प्लेयर एसोसिएट से खिलाना है, 10 टीम है, 10 प्लेयर खेलेंगे।
Mm.
नाउ सिलेक्ट वन, जैसे उन्होंने अनकैप्ड के लिए किया था, वो रूल सही है। यू कैन डिक्रीज द ओवरसीज, एक्चुअली 4 ओवरसीज की जगह 3 ओवरसीज कर दो, एंड देन वन गिव टू द एसोसिएट इफ यू वांट टू हेल्प।
Yeah. But अपने में इतना talent pool है actually that if they you don't actually even need right 3 4 overseas
या अब कुछ टीम्स
players.
तो खिलाते भी नहीं है, 3 में ही हो जाता है उनका। बट आइडली वो होना चाहिए, पर ठीक है जो भी है, अभी तक तो आईपीएल में ही इतने सारे वो निकल जाते हैं, पर फिर हर लीग में ऐसा ही होता है कि पीएसएल होगा तो पाकिस्तान के सारे निकल आएंगे, बीबीएल होगा तो ऑस्ट्रेलियंस में क्या क्या टैलेंट है निकल आएगा, तो दूसरी नेशंस को कम ही वो मिलता है एक्सपोजर।
Yeah, I think in terms of like if you rank international viewership, right? Like IPL probably has the best international viewership.
या
But if you talk about like robust systems within other countries, for England, obviously it's like there's the 100, but I don't really think people care about the 100 that much. But people watch county cricket,
या
right?
आई
And
थिंक
so,
100 इन्होंने गलत कर दिया है, द माइंडसेट फॉर द 100, द रूल्स
yeah.
अगर आर टोटली डिफरेंट। तो आप किसी को समझाना चाहते हो जिसको क्रिकेट नहीं पता है, तो इट गेट्स क्रेजियर। 100 क्या, 100 बॉल्स, अच्छा ओवर में कितनी बॉल होती हैं? 5 होती हैं, लेकिन 10 भी हो सकती हैं, डिपेंड्स।
Okay, okay, relax, Lalit Modi. It's
इट
fine.
इट इज क्रेजी, वो सही बोल रहा है ललित मोदी ने जो बोला है। इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू एक्सप्लेन एनीवन। मेरे को ही नहीं समझ आता है कि अच्छा अभी चेंज हो गया, क्यों क्यों चेंज हो गया, फिर मैं रूल्स पढ़ने लग जाता हूँ, तो मेरे को समझाना तो कितना ही मुश्किल है। पता नहीं क्या है लॉजिक है उनका। और सिर्फ 20 बॉल्स कम करते हो आप, इतना कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करने के बाद 20 बॉल बचाते हो।
I don't imagine that it lasts that much longer.
आई थिंक इवन आईपीएल वुड हैव टू गेट क्लोजर, टफर फॉर लाइक इवन फेवरेबल फॉर बॉलर्स, नहीं तो
Yeah,
ये क्या
something has
सिर्फ
to happen, man.
समथिंग है जो इम्पैक्ट शुड गो अवे।
Yeah.
डेफिनेटली पता नहीं 2027 तक का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कहाँ साइन हो गया है कि वहां तक रहेंगे ही। बट व्हाट वुड यू रिकमेंड, एक अगर बॉलर्स के लिए
Mm.
एक रूल लाना पड़े, वुड
I
यू
don't
वांट
know.
द लिमिट ऑन द नंबर ऑफ बाउंसर्स इन एन ओवर टू बी लाइक अनलिमिटेड, काइंड की छो
I don't
छो
know.
डाल दो?
Although I guess like the batting has come into such form that, like if we're talking about bouncers is like a overly intimidating kind of tactic,
हम्म।
therefore we limit it. I think that in today's whatever, the batters are not so cautious, especially in the T20. Now, I don't know if you say that your number of bouncers can be unlimited, are we then tending all the way in the other direction where it's like, okay, now,
तो इवन इफ दे आर अनलिमिटेड, देर यू विल स्टिल से ना कि जो अनप्लेबल है दैट इज अ वाइड।
yeah,
You can keep on saying, the bowler can keep on bowling, you can keep on saying wide, then he'll have to not bowl a bouncer।
sure,
तो वो रूल वहां पे खत्म, क्योंकि इट इज नॉट दैट कि कहीं भी आप बाउंसर डाल दो, नॉट
yeah,
अबव हेड हाई, सो यू कुड अलाउ दैट एक्चुअली टू सपोर्ट द बॉलर्स। अगर बॉलर को ज्यादा ही है कि मैं 6 डालूंगा, तो फिर तू लाइन में डाल, लेट्स सी
Yeah.
कि तू 6 हेड और शोल्डर के बीच में डाल सकता है, तो वो उसके लिए वैसे भी लिमिटेशन है ही। और
Yeah.
मेरे को तो वो रूल भी समझ नहीं आता है कि इफ इट इज अबव हाई यू गिव वन फॉर द ओवर और द टू फॉर द ओवर एंड देन यू गिव अ वाइड।
Hmm.
इफ यू आर गिविंग अ वाइड देन इट शुड नॉट बी द वन फॉर द ओवर ना, क्योंकि वो काउंट तो हो ही नहीं रही है, वो
Yeah.
काउंट भी कर देते हैं एंड वाइड भी कर देते हैं विच इज वियर्ड। तो एक वो रूल चेंज कर सकते हैं चाहें तो, कि
Yeah.
अगर आप वाइड दे रहे हो तो इट डज नॉट काउंट, और अगर आप वाइड नहीं दे रहे हो तो इट काउंट। अभी दोनों हो जाता है तो उसकी वैसे ही खत्म हो जाती हैं, ओवर द हेड चली जाती हैं और खत्म हो जाती है। तो काफी कुछ बॉलर्स के लिए भी किया जा सकता है, लेकिन बैटिंग गेम बनाया जा रहा है एज मच एज 260 चेज हो रहा है, तो अब बॉलर्स की किसको पड़ी है।
वो तो फिर Harpreet Brar and Chahal made that video, no? I think Brar put it on his Snapchat, but it's him and Yuzi, and it was Yuzi से पूछ रहा है कि do you have any tips for parents whose children are starting out, okay? And Yuzi ने बोला अगर आपके बच्चे के हाथ में बॉल है हटाओ और बैट पकड़ाओ,
बैट बॉल, हाँ वही
बॉलर
हो
को
रहा है।
बचाओ, बॉलर के लिए कुछ नहीं बचा है यहाँ पे। एंड ही सेइंग दैट आफ्टर दे हैव वन बिकॉज पहले उन्होंने मार खाई, राइट? देन
उन्होंने बनाया था।
alternately on the other side उन्होंने मार खाई। So, you know,
करेक्ट।
just I think, and it's so funny because what did we talk about last week? किसी को 100 की नहीं पड़ी, okay? So
और
then
6
this week everybody was like, नहीं मेरे को बनाना है, मेरे को बनाना है। My turn,
या
my turn.
या हाउ मेनी हंड्रेड्स, लेट्स सी।
Abhishek made 100.
हम्म।
Then Sanju made a second 100. Then
करेक्ट।
Sai Sudarshan made 100.
हम्म।
Then Rahul made 150.
हम्म।
Then Vaibhav made 100.
कितने हो गए भाई।
Five hundreds.
तिलक वर्मा ऑल्सो मेड 100।
Yeah, at the start of the week, which we talked about last week. So
या
six then total in this week of four.
कई बार
Six
तो
and
पूरे
nine
आईपीएल,
matches, no?
किसी एक आईपीएल में इस टोटल में भी नहीं थे इतने जितने इस वीक में हैं।
And I imagine और आएंगे अब
अब
because
देखो।
सबको वो है. And the margins, so some of these, it's crazy because we have some of the highest successful chases, but then there's also some of the highest margins of loss.
एक साइड पूरी हो
CSK,
गई।
CSK MI, okay, is CSK's biggest margin of win.
करेक्ट।
They have defeated MI by an entire innings, basically.
हाँ, वो भी वन साइड काफी, मतलब समझ ही नहीं आ रहा ना सीएसके कहाँ जा रही है, कई बार ऐसा खेल रही है और कई बार दूसरा खेल रही है। अभी कुछ नीचे वाली टीमों का तो बिल्कुल समझ नहीं आ रहा है, एलएसजी का समझ नहीं आ रहा, केकेआर भी पता नहीं कहाँ से उठने
I
लग गई।
think LSG and KKR को तो तुम छोड़ दो, right? Like it's not कुछ करेंगे हाथ पैर मारेंगे भी. I don't see it really doing anything. It's like to me like Delhi is like sinking unless they figure it out. GT and CSK, but the thing is they're not really duking it out with each other to see who's coming out up top, right? It's just like can they play against these other teams that have really cemented a rhythm together? So SRH, for example, continues to climb out of no real hole necessarily, but they're on their what, like fourth win,
करेक्ट।
straight win.
मतलब कुछ टीम्स ना पीक कर रही हैं एंड कुछ टीम्स ड्रॉप कर रही हैं। इफ यू लुक एट राजस्थान नाउ,
Mhm.
आई राजस्थान इज गोइंग डाउनवर्ड्स, डाउन द
Yeah, a
हिल।
little bit.
जो टीम स्टेबल है वो है पंजाब,
Yeah,
आरसीबी,
yeah,
एसआरएच,
yeah,
and I think, just maybe my
yeah.
opinion, KKR is going in the upward direction.
I actually would disagree with that. I would say GT is more. So I think GT is consistent, right? And the
Correct.
thing is for
GT and
me,
then KKR.
that GT's consistency means that they are, even if they are losing, like now is the point where before I was like, okay, they're losing, it's fine. Like if you look at the game, whatever, it's still pretty similar. But now it's like it's going to start to be a problem if you keep losing this way.
Yeah,
Right. But overall, I find that their consistency is still good enough to a point where if they can thread whatever it is that's just stopping them from over the edge, they're pretty good to go. Like they could secure a four if
correct.
provided RR actually comes so
Down.
far out.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
GT.
like my heart
GT would be the four. Yeah.
says
DC.
let's yeah, but I don't know. Like I just don't know. How do you get back to the board after this? Like how do you come down to your next practice and go, yeah, okay, next one. We're gonna get it together for the next one. Like this is
हाँ,
so
मतलब डीसी ने 2 मैच ऐसे ही हार लिए ना, एक वो 1 रन वाला, एक ये 150 बना के आप हार गए हो, मतलब
the
260
one
बना
run
के।
match तो ठीक है कोई बंदा मान ले like okay you're almost over the finish line like it happens in the heat of the moment like this is like to me genuinely like this team is directionless. Like no one knows what is happening. They don't know what they're doing. And it's obviously like it's upsetting because in the same way that the Miller thing was upsetting because everyone had poured so much into it. Here it's like forget the rest of them. Like this KL poured into it and even Nitish also almost made 100. You are
Yeah.
really just leveling that entire work. And it's not necessarily just like a bowler's problem because look, like on the other side, they tried to get these guys out too, and they weren't able to get them out. So I can understand that, okay, maybe it was just aggressively a good batting pitch. So naturally, as much as Bartlett, Chahal, and all these people leaked their runs, similarly, you'll have on the other side, these guys are leaking runs. But then play the field, no? Like take the fucking catch. Like this is your only job, actually.
Who was Karun Nair replacing?
Stubbs. Oh, so this is okay. Ashwin talked about this, which I don't disagree with, but I also am like, I'm not sitting here being like, why KL? I mean, because it's like, oh, KL Rahul batted for 20 whole overs, so he got dehydrated, then he couldn't keep for the whole 20 overs. Obviously, okay? I don't know why we're like, oh my God, why did KL make so many runs? Tristan Stubbs went on to replace
KL.
Rahul behind the wickets. So Karun was standing where Stubbs would be. And Stubbs is actually a great
Yeah.
fielder. So it kind of, yeah, it's like a house of cards type situation. But
Karun.
I also think maybe we could have, I don't know if it's a rules thing or why they didn't do it, but Abhishek Porel also keeps. They could have brought Abhishek to keep, no?
क्रेजी पता है मैंने क्या टाइप किया अभी
What?
वेयर इज अभिषेक पुरेल
On the
आई कैन
bench, bro.
आई कैन शो इट टू यू मैं वही बोल रहा था कि अभिषेक पुरेल क्यों नहीं आ रहा है कि और तूने वही क्वेश्चन पूछा है शॉर्ट आंसर अभिषेक पुरेल इज अवेलेबल विद दिल्ली कैपिटल्स बट ही इज मोस्टली बीन लेफ्ट आउट ऑफ द प्लेइंग 11 ड्यू टू सिलेक्शन एंड टैक्टिकल इश्यूज
So
नॉट
that would
इंजरी
be my follow-up question that is it that you can have a wicket-keeping replacement, but does that mean the wicket-keeping replacement has to come from playing 11? Or can
यस
it come from bench? Because if
नो
it only can come from playing 11, then okay, I guess we can't do anything about it.
इट हैज
But
टू बी 11 क्योंकि और ही इट हैज टू बी इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर
well,
क्योंकि यू द सब्स्टिट्यूट कैन नॉट प्ले एन एक्टिव रोल इन द टीम सो एक्टिव द कीपिंग इज एन एक्टिव रोल
yeah,
फील्डिंग इज ए पैसिव रोल
sure.
सो दैट इज अलाउड सो दैट इज बाय द स्विच टीम में ही कोई चाहिए वहां देखो एलएसजी में तो कितने सारे हैं चार कीपर है उनमें
Keeping तो हो नहीं रही किसी से.
पता नहीं क्या हो आज ऋषभ पंत वापस आ गए हैं
Rishabh and Rinku also had a good day.
रिंकू तो भैया सिर्फ इट वाज एलएसजी वर्सेस रिंकू सिंह nothing in KKR was there only Rinku Singh
And then Sunil
catching
Narayan in power play, man.
हाँ
Two
बस वो
people.
power play correct
So
yeah
again, KKR legacy players saving the day. Nobody else. Everyone else.
yeah
Although justice for my man Ankush, okay?
हाँ वो पता नहीं I don't know why was he given out
That wasn't out. There's no way. Like, what are you supposed to do? You cannot
run straight
flip and turn in a straight line. Like, that's not possible. And it's
crazy
not like he was that far out of the way either. He was running back in the same line. Like, what?
और इतना अच्छा उसने एस्टिमेट कर लिया था कि देखा अच्छा आगे वहां आएगी मेरे को वहां जाना इतना तेज कैलकुलेशन कर लिया उसने यू स्टडी द बॉडी लैंग्वेज ना जब वो गया और उसकी लगी बॉल तो नीचे बैठा तो उसने स्मार्ट एक्ट किया कि उसने कंफ्यूज एक्ट किया एंड देन ही मूव्ड ऑन द मैच
Yeah.
मूव्ड ऑन फिर पता नहीं कहां से रिव्यू कर दिया इन्होंने ऋषभ पंत ने मेरे को तो लगा था ऋषभ पंत बोल देगा ओके लीव इट
Yeah,
चलो
he's done it before कि रहने
या
दो. So यहाँ
बट
पे
नहीं
तो
बोला
बनता
वो
था कि रहने दो. But he was
पता
like,
नहीं
shit, नहीं अभी करूंगा तो गायंका मेरे को पीटेगा बाद में.
हाँ
चलो
वो भी यही
निकल.
सोच रहा हूँ तब भी नहीं जीते अच्छा कि क्या जीत गए उसमें
Didn't deserve it only after that. But then afterwards, though, he obviously looked like I think it's very justified the way that he was pissed and he was throwing his shit about walking away because that was to me a very unfair decision. But I also had the thought कि अभी KKR is also coming to join us in the bottom of the fair play table. चलो,
हाँ ठीक है नीचे आ जाइए हाँ
hanging
ठीक है
out.
ये अजीब ही है मतलब इतना गलत डिसीजन दो तब भी आप रिएक्शन नहीं दे सकते हो फेयर प्ले की वजह से देन फेयर प्ले गोज इनटू भाई जाए
अंपायर
भाड़
का
में
फेयर
जाए
प्ले कहाँ है? I would
हाँ,
like to see a table for that also.
वो भी मैंने देखा था किसी वन ऑफ द आईपीएल्स में अंपायर के लिए भी बना हुआ था
दिखाना चाहिए यहाँ पे भी
हाँ,
दिखाना चाहिए.
कहीं देखा था मैंने पर अभिषेक पुरेल को खिलाना चाहिए भाई डीसी को
Yeah, that's
आई
what
डोंट नो
Ashwin
व्हाट
was
हैपेंड टू
saying that
समीर
you need.
रिजवी कहाँ चला गया वो भाई इतना प्रॉमिसिंग लग रहा था स्टार्टिंग में
flash in the pan types. That's the thing, right? You never, I just don't think that they're able to find consistency bar one or two people. Like, I think Rahul is consistent. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
sometimes it's like a slow start and then he's out. That's just the luck of the draw. It happens to everybody. But I think he is a player whose consistency you can count on. Stubbs is a player whose consistency you can count on. David Miller is tending towards getting better now, so that's
Yeah.
okay for me as well. Kuldeep, in terms of the bowling, does the job. But I saw Stark is here, so
स्टार के करेक्ट, वो तो आ ही रहा है अगले मैच में।
yeah, you have
डीसी ने
some
कहीं
people
अनाउंस
sitting
कर
out,
दिया।
I hear.
या बट मुझे लगता है इनको पुरैल को लाना चाहिए, आई डोंट नो हु टू टेक इट।
Nissanka को बिठा दो, honestly.
शंका को पिठाने पे भी पुरैल नहीं आएगा ना, क्योंकि
क्यों नहीं?
फॉरेन वो भी तो चाहिए ना उनको, डीसी वाले उसको उससे करेंगे ना चार को।
I just don't think like look, Abhishek and Rahul have opened together before, and that was a
हम्म।
pretty decent rhythm. So I feel like there's no issue in doing that. I guess we put Nissanka in because he came off a good World Cup season, but even that by so much stretch was not like the greatest thing to ever happen. And also, he's not really adding much here at this minute. So
या उसको भी लाना चाहिए, नहीं तो डीसी गई। इट इज डाउन द हिल, दे नीड टू मेक चेंजेस लाइक मुंबई इंडियंस। they also need to make changes, and DC is the other one that is going down the hill. But even down the hill is still better than the Mumbai Indians. So अगर वो संभल जाए तो संभल सकते हैं, क्योंकि उनके पास कुछ लोग हैं जो संभाल रहे हैं, मुंबई
yeah,
के पास कोई नहीं है।
just Hardik chilling and
वो
Mahika
हार्दिक
in the
वो
background.
कर रहा है, तिलक वर्मा का भी वो अब तो ऐसे ही लग रहा है कि वन मैच होगा, हो गया, पता नहीं कितना और होगा, बट लेट्स सी। मुंबई इंडियंस से कोई लगाव नहीं है मुझे, बाहर हो रही है अच्छी बात है,
They
बाकी
can
सब
stay out.
ऊपर आ जाए तो सही है यार। बाय द वे वो जो शुरू हुआ है हमारा 1-0 हो गया है
1-0 for who?
फॉर मी।
Oh, see, well then now I've double earned it. Me and KL, man, feel bad for us. Come on.
आई कैन ओनली लेट केएल स्कोर, एंड द लिमिट इज 50 runs।
KL's gonna drink bleach tomorrow if he scores and they don't win. So maybe, I don't know.
मुझे लगता है कल कोहली सेंचुरी बनाने वाला है बाय द वे।
Yeah, it's coming, man. इतनी सारी लोगों की सेंचुरी देख के I
हो
feel
गई
like
है,
he's
कोहली
like,
की बच गई
excuse
है,
me,
कोहली का
excuse
नाम कैसे नहीं
me.
है। लेट्स सी, इट्स यू वर्सेस मी टुमारो।
Yeah,
ऑल इन ऑल क्रेजी वीक।
insane week actually.
मुझे लगता
Genuinely
है इससे
crazy.
ज्यादा सेंचुरीज एंड इससे ज्यादा स्कोर एंड एंडेड विद अ सुपर ओवर,
Yeah,
दिस कुड हैव दिस, आई थिंक दिस वुड बी द बेस्ट वीक ऑफ द आईपीएल इन दिस
season
एटलीस्ट।
for sure.
अब इसके इसके ऊपर जाना बहुत ही मुश्किल हो
So the
जाएगा, अब
question is
कैसे।
that is the graph gonna go like that, or is this the peak of the graph, and then we're gonna just have a little blip when we come to the finals?
I think it would be, now it will go lower. It cannot go any higher than this.
I actually think it would be good for it to go lower because I don't know who said it, but somebody said you don't want to win too much up front, which I don't think that Punjab is really ascribing to that theory. So forget that. But the idea that if you like it's a long tournament, so if you peak early on, that's kind of
Hmm.
what we were talking about with RR. That's kind of what's happening. That you peak early
Hmm.
on and then it's like hard to sustain it or you get tired out. So like I think Rajasthan has this problem where Dhruv Jurel has figured out well, like this is how I should play and this is what works, and Vaibhav is doing like crazy things. Now,
Yeah.
Yashasvi is caught in this bubble where he was previously caught in the international setup also, where other people around him are being like glitzy, glamour, shown, 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 and really achieving. So
Yeah.
he's not really able to carve out his own separate niche. It's like people are taking over him, right? And so, but then he still tries to play like those people or like in
Correct.
that same strategy. You got to come up with some third thing for yourself. Otherwise, then it's like Jadeja saving the day. That's what happened in this past week. Also, there was a match that was like fully based on just Jaddu like
हाँ,
clobbering together the rest of the innings.
RR is going down the hill. DC
Yeah.
can still be saved, I hope, पर कल नहीं। देखते हैं, लेट्स सी, वन मोर। हर वीक हम यही बोलते हैं ना, एक वीक और में क्लियर हो जाएगा, लेकिन क्लियर होता नहीं
क्लियर
है।
हो नहीं रहा बिकॉज सबको सेंचुरीज बनानी है बैटिंग करनी है
कुछ लोग नीचे आ जा रहे हैं, कुछ लोग ऊपर। लास्ट वीक तक मैं कह रहा था आरआर जा रही है, अब मेरे को लग रहा है आरआर बाहर ही जा रही है,
Hmm.
टॉप फोर में नहीं रह रही है, तो फिर टॉप फोर में एक जगह खाली हो गई है, अब देखो कौन लेता है, जीटी या डीसी।
DC, 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 DC. Could be fun.